The views and content expressed on the following program are provided solely for informational and entertainment purposes. They do not constitute legal advice. A podcast is not a substitute for retaining a competent, licensed attorney to advise you on your specific legal situation.
Break the business, play is work and work is play. Power into creators, have fun along the way. Break the business, doing what it takes. Celebrate success and learn from the mistakes.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is time for Break the Business, where we empower indie creators and have some fun along the way. I'm Ryan Kairalla, and it is a pleasure to have you here this week, joining you from my home studio here in Miami, just steps away from a newborn that I think I put to sleep. I think he's down. He might start crying at any minute. If you all hear just a faint cry off into the distance, followed by a louder cry of my wife, like I may just have to run out of the room real quick and try to like rock him again. But I think we're good. I think we're in a good situation with the baby, and I'm definitely in a good situation with all of you because we got ourselves a fun little show this week. Excited as heck for it. Excited as heck for our co-host as well, Zach Sloan, joining us. Hey, Zach.
Because there's a baby crying in the background. My child has recently hit a sleep regression, so I may have to run out, rock the baby, come back. We got babies all over the place on the show, Ryan.
So basically what we've given the viewing and listening audience, whether they're on SiriusXM podcast platforms or on the live streaming platforms, is you got like two dads right now with their heads halfway toward their child. But between the two of us, I think we have one competent podcast host who has the undivided attention of the audience. And that's the best we're going to be able to do.
I would say that I agree with that to a point of about 80%. But Ryan, we're going to do this. I'm excited for our guest. Anytime we're bringing on somebody who's referred to as the Canada's Prince of Piano. Wait, I messed it up already. The Canada's Prince of Piano. I'm excited to hear that because I actually started off as a piano player and I suck at it. So I'm always glad to talk to real piano players.
Well, I'm sure as Colorado's Prince of Piano, Zach, you are honored to be in the presence of another great in this field. Yes, Martin Mayer joining us. Excited to chat with him. Amazing Canada-based award-winning pianist. So many great things that we're going to be able to talk to him about as an indie creator. So a couple things that jumped off in my mind about Martin that I'm excited to talk to him about. One, doesn't use Spotify. doesn't believe in it, not a fan, doesn't use those streaming services. And you and I, we've had a lot of discussions on this show of the merits of Spotify as a streaming service, the positives and the negatives. I'm excited to talk to a prominent award-winning musician about his decision about not of foregoing streaming and what that means for his career. Super interesting stuff. I know there's a lot of things about his career that you found pretty interesting that I know you want to dive into, right?
Oh man, anytime you're talking about somebody who got to tour China, like, and we're talking about one of the first like modern tours of China, he got to play on TV in front of thousands of people. It's super fascinating to me. I want to talk to him all about that. Plus, the listeners are well aware of my feelings about Spotify in those situations, so we got lots to chat about, and I'm pretty excited, man.
I did read that about him, right? That he was sort of one of the first musicians from, I guess the Western Hemisphere to kind of go into China, or at least from Canada to go into China. That must have been quite an experience for him. I mean, I've been to China a few times, and just sort of it's, obviously a completely different world over there. And I would imagine for a Western musician to go over there to blow people away like that, I envision like Martin Mayer walking through Beijing and just like he can't even just like get a cup of coffee anywhere without people spotting him and knowing him who he is. He might be big over there.
It's pretty cool. I was doing it. And by the way, his website, people, if you're an indie artist and you're looking for a cool website, his website is super user friendly and gives you all the information you need about this cat. Check it out. Peruse his bio. It's a really cool read.
That is one of my favorite low-key seals of approval that you give every time you come on a show, Zach, is you always have at least one person, or like one website, you're like, ooh, that's a good website. You are kind of a sucker for good artist websites. You love to give those people shout-outs.
Hey, I learned from friends of the podcast about making good websites and communicating your message effectively. Thanks, Cheryl B. Englehart. And, when I see game recognizes game, what can I say?
There you go. Well, before we bring on Martin, and before we do some our Will It Sad Song segment that we promised the viewers and listeners we were going to do this week after we introduced it last week, want to talk to you a little bit more about being a dad, Zach. Because this is the first time you and I have spoken, I believe, since I have brought the new human into the world. And you are further along in the dad journey. Your kid's older than my kid brand new. And I have a very simple question for you, Zach Sloan. Why didn't you warn me?
So here's the deal.
I thought we were friends, man.
So
give a man a heads up as to what he's getting himself into.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what. Part of the deal is that I got so sick when my wife was expecting of people telling me all the terrible things that I just was like, I don't do that. But like the sleep deprivation and all that is super true and real, and it's weird because like, and I would, even though we haven't talked about it, I would venture to say you're probably really exhausted but having the time of your life, and that's how I felt, and so it was like, I guess it's even, I don't know.
All true. No, that about characterizes it. Yeah, completely sleep deprived, but wouldn't have it any other way, and it's just incredible. Just the whole experience is amazing. But I remember when my wife was inspecting, and the most annoying thing that I would hear people say, and I know you heard this too, Zach, is, it changes everything. Yeah. Having a baby changes everything. I know you think it's only going to change some of the things. Nope. Changes everything. I found that so irritating. And I was like, it can't literally change everything. I mean, the sky is still going to be blue after this baby's born. But you know what? Kind of changes everything.
But
all those jerks were right.
True, but it does get better. Like my child, our kids are not that far apart in age. Mine is still technically 0 because I don't do the months thing. My kid is 0 until they're 1. But like as they get a little older, like and they start sleeping a little better, things revert to a semi-normal. Like it's still different, but I mean, I still play in my band. I still gig regularly until I got COVID. That's why I sound so weird. Sorry, listeners. I still get to do fun things like play Dungeons and Dragons with my nerd friends. Like, just not as often as I would like to do these things. But I get to hang out with a baby, so it's pretty dope.
You're telling me there's a light at the end of the tunnel here. I am very, very pleased to hear that. But I also think we're not having the same experiences here, okay? I was a bit of a handful as a child. I was emotional. I cried a lot. And so, like, my baby is a handful and is emotional and cries a lot. I would imagine the child of Zach Sloan is going to be like super cool and chill like his dad, Zach Sloan, is. Like, I just imagine when your baby's hungry, he's just like, hey, mom and dad, just feeling a little hungry here. You just want to, maybe just a little bottle of milk. No big deal. You get around to it when you get around to it. I'm not going to cry or anything. Like, I don't want to be annoying like that.
So my kiddo is very chill, but it's nothing because of me. And this is a true story. I'm an only child because I was such a bad baby. My dad was like, no more. This is ridiculous. So when our kiddo first came out, I was just like, is this going to be me? Is this the karma? And then thank God, our kiddo is more like my wife than me.
No. Well, thank goodness for that, I suppose. Although I'm very surprised to hear that because you're so chill and low key. I just assumed you'd be a chill and low key baby. But I guess the chill and low key stuff sort of evolved over time. You grew into that.
This is all acting. I'm a basket case when the camera stops rolling.
This is your podcasting persona.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go to break, before we bring in Martin, here we have to do the Will It Sad Song segment that we promised the viewers and listeners. Let's go ahead and bring producer Lauren in. Hi, producer Lauren.
Hi, boys.
For the folks who were not here last week, let me lay out what we're about to do here. What we're about to get ourselves into, I should say. And I've in the 5-6 years we've done this podcast, I don't think I've ever been more nervous about a segment than I am right now. But we're doing it because I promised we would do it. So, as the viewers and listeners all know, I get obsessed with certain TikTok trends, and then I talk about them on the show. And my latest TikTok, that's a hard phrase. TikTok. Can you tell I'm so nervous?
He's sleepy. It's fine.
And nervous and sleep deprived. My latest TikTok obsession is at PJ Harding on TikTok. Amazing musician, fantastic creator. And he's doing a thing on TikTok now called Will It Sad Song, where he's taking very happy songs, like songs that are fast-paced in a major key, make us all smile, and he makes them intentionally as sad and depressing as possible, and they're all amazing. I'm obsessed with the Will It Sad Song segment. Lauren, can you play a version of one of his videos so people can get an idea of what this is?
Yeah, let's see here.
I come home in the morning light. My mother says, when you gonna live your life right? Oh, mama dear, we're not the fortunate ones. And girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have fun.
All right, we got it. Man, so yeah, that's Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. Normally, like a poppy, upbeat bop of a song that he's just turned into like the saddest freaking thing you've ever heard. But I'm obsessed with this. And so last week, we promised the viewers and listeners that we would come up with our own Will It Sad Song versions of happy songs. And because our friend Zach Sloan is such an amazing sport, I texted him after the show was over and said, Zach, will you do the Will It Sad Song segment with us? And of course, he's game for anything. He texted right back. He said, yep, let's do it. Absolutely. Which is why I love Zach. This is because all the other co-hosts, I think, would have taken some leg pulling. Zach completely on board. And so
I just said yes before I looked at his TikTok, so I didn't even know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
because his are really, really good.
His are good. I don't know if I would have said yes if I would have looked at his first.
I know. Like, I can't help but think we've bit off more than we can chew here. But we're going to do this because we promised we would. Each of us prepared a sad song version of a happy song. For me, it was in between, feedings and things like that, but I managed to get one done. And so we're going to play them all for you, and we'll have Martin Mayer in the next segment tell us which of his sad songs that we prepared is his favorite, and we'll go from there. And so to kind of get us acclimated, I would like to go first. I volunteer as tribute in front of this firing squad, but I have a selfish motive, all right?
Okay.
I don't want to follow either of you. All right, I'm engaged in a little game I like to call expectations management. Viewers and listeners, okay? The other two folks that you're hearing from, Zach Sloan, professional musician, plays in bands. Lauren, trained musical theater singer, has performed all over the world in front of giant crowds. Me, entertainment lawyer. And there's a reason why when I was choosing potential paths in the entertainment industry, I went business side. So I want you to keep that in mind when you are evaluating these musical performances so as to not be unduly harsh on me, okay? Are we all fair? Are we all
Hey,
square with
you
that?
can play your instruments. I can like plunk.
So I'm going to get us started, okay? This
Okay.
is my in honor of our new favorite TikTok obsession, PJ Harding. Let me get a
And
swig
by
of water here.
Yeah.
This is
chug.
my Will It Sad song version of what is this song called?
good
Kiss Me
Lord.
More. Kiss Me More. The Grammy Award winning song Kiss Me More by Doja Cat. We hug and yes, we make love and we always just say goodnight. We cuddle, sure I do love it, but I need your lips on mine. Can you kiss me more? We're so young, boy, we ain't got nothing to lose. Oh, it's just principle, baby, hold me, 'cause I like the way you groove. Oh, boy, you write your name, I can do the same. Oh, I love the taste, oh, la, la, la. All on my tongue, I want it. Boy, you write your name, I can do the same. Oh, I love the taste, oh, la, la, la. All on my tongue, I want it. Oh, my. That was so nerve-wracking.
Okay. Hello, discretion audience. Like that was so much better than practice.
It did come off a little bit better than rehearsal.
I was like, that was on key.
Yeah, well, first time for everything.
Sorry for just throwing you out there under the bus. What?
Yeah, I'm fine catching that stray. That's cool.
I thought you did great there. Good job, Brian. Good job.
Very, very much. Whew, gosh, I you know the other nice thing about going first is now that it's over. It's done.
Yeah, you're done.
I never have to do that again. I feel very vulnerable and exposed right now. This is an area of arts that I like to keep more hidden. I have no problem talking. Talking is fine. I could be in front of 100,000 people. I won't sweat a bit. You ask me to sing a song in front of 2 people, nerve-wracking. So I'm glad I got through it. I hope my song made everybody sad. There you go.
Oh, that's sad.
So keeping the Will It Sad song train going, Zach, do you want to go next?
Sure.
I have to bring up the rear. No pressure. No pressure.
All right. Let me get my lyrics up because
What? Cheater lyrics.
Oh, I was totally using a chord chart. Don't worry.
It's all right. Mine are here.
see now what a pro would have done is
We're totally pros. We threw
Yeah.
this together.
what a pro does is
not
they
my
write a
song.
chord chart. I did no such thing. Let's see how I do this.
Probably because you know
looked one
chords
up,
better
that
than I
counts,
do.
Right? I'm like,
I completely forgot. What song are you doing?
I'm doing Levitating by Dua Lipa and
Okay,
all the
so-
other people who are suing her for copyright infringement.
this whole time I'm like, aren't we supposed to like figure it out as we go? And you're just like opening it up. Here's what I'm about to play.
I didn't know the rules.
I didn't know there were rules. I was just saying like I wanted to guess, and now I know.
I'm just a melancholy singer-songwriter. If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy. I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shining like the way I like. So if you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me, I want you, baby, my sugar boo. I'm levitating the Milky Way, we're renegading, yeah. I got you, moonlight, starlight, all night I need you. You're my starlight, moonlight. I'm levitating. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Outstanding, Zach Sloan.
I don't want to play anymore.
And this is why Ryan went first.
And so for all my people out there who want to make sad songs, let me tell you, the minor 4 chord, that's the saddest chord. Just do that and you're going to be fine.
Slow it down, put it
So
in
right
minor.
about that.
Minor 4. All right, Lauren, let's see what you got.
I picked a song that has a whopping 3 chords. 3 of them. Because I have a keyboard, but that's about the extent of my skill level right there. I can play 3 chords.
Yeah, but at least you learned the chords of the song that you did. I just made them up.
Yeah, and I was talking about this before the show, right? The most convenient part of putting this into a minor key is that not only do I only have 3 chords, but once it's minor, they're all white keys.
Oh, so you're playing an A minor.
A minor.
Oh.
Yep. A minor, D minor, E minor, that's it.
I'm sure Martin Mayer plays all of his songs in A minor too. Just
All of them.
he's
There's
not a big fan of
no
the black keys,
variation
I'm
at
sure.
all.
Yeah.
None of them.
That's how he became the what's it, Canada's Prince of Piano.
Yep.
Nothing but white keys. Doesn't even worry about the black keys. I see Martin. He's thumbs upping in the chat there. He's like, "Yep."
I wanna see
I don't
like
even
a-
know what those black keys do.
Boogie done in all white keys.
All right, Lauren, take
All right,
it away.
here
Which
we
song
go.
are you
We're
doing?
gonna try it. We're gonna do it anyway. Oh, you have to. Do you want me to tell you what it is?
Or should we try to guess this one? Because I guess we.
I mean, you'll know it by the time I'm done. I just don't know
All
if I
right,
wanted to
we'll do
know
it that way. We'll do it that way. Just lay it on us. We're going to pick it up halfway through. We'll let everybody guess.
Okay, sounds good. I used to think maybe you loved me. Now, baby, I'm sure. And I just can't wait till the day when you knock on my door. Now every time I go to the mailbox, I gotta hold myself down. 'Cause I just can't wait till you write me you're coming around. I'm walking on sunshine, whoa. I'm walking on moonshine, whoa. I'm walking on sunshine, whoa. And don't it feel good? And don't it feel good? I can't keep a sad face that long. Don't it feel good? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I always wondered what it would sound like if Stevie Nicks sang Walking on Sunshine. And now that
And that's-
mystery's been solved for me. Oh, man.
That's one way to do it.
It was fabulous. And you brought in a piano where, that means we gave the people 3 instruments for this silly segment. You got your uke, you got a guitar, you got a piano. I can't believe this podcast is free. These people are so lucky. Oh,
Because
And that's how we introduce our Patreon.
that's right. You want this premium content.
So there's that.
So let me float. This actually wound up turning out to be everything I dreamed of. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you,
okay.
Zach. I was so worried, when we were kind of practicing and doing sound check on these things, because we were all a little nervous, I could tell, but I think it came together. Let me float this by you, okay? If we could get PJ Harding to come on the show and listen to our sad songs, I honestly, this isn't a bit. I have not reached out to him yet. This isn't going to be something where I'm like, and now here's PJ Harding. No. if we could get him, like, do you want him to come on and like listen to the playbacks of our sad songs as like an homage, or are you afraid to have the king of the sad song hear this?
No, I want it.
You want it?
Dude, I have been an indie musician for too long. He can't hurt me. All he can do is one of two things. All right? One, he'll tell me it's terrible. I already know. All right? Like, that's not news. Or two, he likes it, and that's just gravy. Like, PJ, please come and be nice to Ryan and Lauren. They're nice people. I'm telling you, I'm a bad person. Please come and destroy my song.
I'm an indie musician. You can't hurt me needs to be put on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I agree.
That's amazing. We're going to... I might just have to steal that, Zach. We're going to make Break the Business shirts that say, I'm an indie musician, you can't hurt me.
I'm on it.
That is incredible.
My dog approves because Sadie just showed up.
Oh, good. Hey, Sadie. Wait. You know the rule. If whenever guests or hosts have a animal that shows up, we all got to see the animal.
Dog. Yep.
Here she is.
Oh.
Little pit bull.
Hey there, cutie pie.
Oh, hi, baby.
Those aren't even legal in my county.
They used to not. They used to not be legal here, but they are recently legal. Thank God.
Very cool.
So.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, all right. I'll reach out to him. I'll see if we can get PJ Harding to come around, since you guys seem all courageous enough. I'm nervous about
He's
him
just
hearing
gonna
it.
come on and be like, I could do that better.
Well, obviously.
I mean, he won't say that, but
know.
he could. I mean,
No, PJ, if you come on, say that to me, please. I think that'd be hilarious.
I could totally do that
Such
better.
a glutton for punishment.
In fact, I did. Here you go.
Yeah, if he's probably done it. I just haven't seen it yet.
He's got a lot of them.
I know his TikTok is extensive.
I know. And every one of them is an absolute banger.
Yay.
In fact, he puts them out so fast that when I originally had the idea for this segment, I was going to do a Lizzo song. I was going to do, what's that song? Feeling Fussy with My Ballisiussies, blah, blah, blah. And I can't remember the name of it, man. But he wound up doing that song like a day later. And I was like, then I had to change it up and do Doja Cat, which is fine because I love Doja Cat. So it all worked out. All right. Let us regroup. That we all got through the most nerve-wracking experience of Ryan's life. And now our reward is we get to have a wonderful conversation with an incredible musician. Canada's Prince of Piano, Martin Mayer, is going to be joining us right after the break. Don't go anywhere. Keep checking out Break the Business.
Ryan Kairalla here. I hope you're enjoying the show, and I hope that you're getting a lot out of it. I do what I do because I care about creators like you. A lot. I've dedicated my career to helping creative professionals, entrepreneurs, and organizations move forward. I do it by hosting this program, and I'm also proud to do it in my legal practice. If you're a creative professional looking for solutions-oriented legal services to help you further your goals, I'd love to help. My firm RKPA does contracts, commercial law, copyright, trademark, and more. Visit rkpalaw.com to learn more. That's rkpalaw.com. Ryan A. Kairalla, PA, Miami, Florida.
Streaming services for Break the Business provided by LEK Entertainment. LEK Entertainment is a full-service entertainment company offering everything from consultations to full-scale events and productions, including audio and video productions, voiceovers, staged theatrical productions, script and music development, and streaming services. For more information, visit lekentertainment.com. LEK Entertainment wants to help you bring your story to life.
Thanks for supporting Break the Business. If you have a question or topic that you want us to discuss, email us at breakthebusiness@gmail.com. You can follow the host, that's me, on Twitter at Ryan Kair, and you can follow the show at the BTB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the show on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, and on all major podcast platforms. And now, let's get back to the show.
Welcome back to Break the Business, everybody. It is so freaking hot here in the studio. That's a me problem, though. I will bear with it, and I'm excited to have you all here with us wherever you're checking us out. Our thanks, of course, to SiriusXM 145 Slam Radio for being our fantastic satellite radio home. But if you're checking us on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, Twitch, or on all major podcast platforms. Wherever you're checking us out, we are so thrilled that you are. And we thank you in advance for telling a friend, helping us grow our little community. Ryan Kairalla here, joined by Zach Sloan. Zach, honestly, man, fantastic performance. A great sad song. I am thrilled that I got to hear yours.
I'm so sorry you had such low expectations for my work, but if you listeners, we're about to have a real musician come on and talk. So please don't judge the entire podcast by what just happened.
Let's go ahead and first of all, Zach Sloan, amazing musician in his own right, but this guest is something else. He is an award-winning pianist and composer who has been dubbed, as we said before, Canada's Prince of Piano by the Beijing Times. His worldwide performances and multiple albums have all received considerable acclaim, and you can find out more about our guest's work by visiting www.martinmayermusic.com. We are happy to welcome Martin Mayer on to Break the Business. Hi, Martin.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
So thrilled to have you here. First of all, as we made clear in the first segment, we love the nickname, Canada's Prince of Piano. And I've been thinking the whole time, who is Canada's Princess of Piano? Because, my money's on Diana Krall. Is there somebody ahead of her?
That's a good question. I've been asked a lot about, where that moniker came from, who was responsible for it. I didn't choose to wear my crown tonight. I'm sorry about that. But in terms of who the princess is I would say Diana Krall would probably be, I could easily see the two of us sitting side by side. I'd be like, you go first. I don't want to play before you or after you.
Who else is in the royal court of Canadian piano players? Is Kevin Hearn of Bare Naked Ladies, is he like the Jack of piano? At least like a noble, like a duke or something?
Jester?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what sort of levels this stuff gets dealt. But listen, one of the guys that really started this genre of music in Canada, at least back in the 70s and 80s, is Mr. Frank Mills. Mr. Music Box Dancer. If I'm the prince, then he's definitely the king. Canadian royalty, super nice guy. Just really great.
Well, it is and while we are goofing around, it is a well-earned title. First of all, because of how excellent you are, and we've been enjoying your music for the week up to leading to your show. And of course, it was given to you by the Beijing Times because of the amazing impression and how highly they think of you over in China and the times that you've toured there. And we want to talk all about your amazing career in music. But first, we have something even more important to discuss, which is we need your assessment of our sad song competition in the first segment. Now, I know you were listening in the green room, so you heard my sad song rendition of Kiss Me More by Doja Cat. You heard Zach Sloan's sad song rendition of Levitating by Dua Lipa. And you heard producer Lauren's sad song rendition of Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. And we need to hear from Canada's Prince of Piano, who did the best job? Who had the best sad song? You can use whatever criteria you want, like who was the saddest song, which was the most entertaining. Maybe you just want to give it to Lauren because she played the piano and that's obviously like your instrument. Where are you on this?
Well, I'm going to throw you a curveball, Ryan, because I know that you love performing for an audience. I want you to give me 30 seconds of your chosen song. Sing it into your mic and into the camera.
What?
Yep.
Martin,
why would you do that to me?
You're my new favorite person.
Come on,
I
Mr.
like
Lawyer Man.
this
Why
guy.
would you
go?
This is the best.
This is the... No, you had like... When I finished the song, Martin, the first thought in my head, and it was a very comforting one, was I never have to play this on Sirius XM radio in front of lots of people again. Why would you possibly want me to do that?
Pressure.
Because it's entertaining for me, that's why.
I'll make you a deal. Okay.
Uh-oh. No, here comes the lawyer talk. Let's make a deal.
This is a negotiation, okay? This is a negotiation, all right? If I do this again, which again, not and you said I have to look into the camera, like I gotta make love to the camera here a little bit.
You gotta sing to the audience.
I'll do it. I'll get full into it. I'll make like I will evoke all the great Canadian pop musicians. Like you'll feel the same way you feel when like Celine Dion walks into the room or Bryan Adams is playing a sold out stadium. You're gonna love it. But in return, for what is going to be a very difficult undertaking for me, you have to say that my performance was the best of the three.
Oh.
Ooh.
I want to know
Man,
what
don't
producer
take so
Lauren
long
thinks
to
about that.
like you're really struggling with that. Like, oh God, I can't possibly say that.
I'm pretty
Good
sure he
Lord.
already said that. He basically said, I pick you. Now I need to see your encore performance. And I think that this stage fright is just messing up the show. Like, it's been called for. The audience wants to hear it. And it's time to like look at the camera and sell yourself
They're in the back.
or your show. Ryan. No? All right.
Man, this really okay.
All right, go grab your
This-
uke.
all right, I
Time
got
to
the
get
damn
uke in
uke.
hand.
All right.
Ooh, fancy
Okay,
uke.
I'm gonna do
Is that the
this.
Fender uke?
It is actually.
That's the
It's got
Fender uke.
Telecaster headstock.
Is it great?
That's
Oh,
product
is,
placement. If
I got
if
you
I ever
that
heard
one. That one's for
is
me.
this the one you got me?
It is. That's one of the ones I
Hashtag
got.
I
not
do love
sponsored.
this one. This is one of my two favorite ukes. I played this one because it's the loudest, and we needed to. Pick
All
up
right,
the mic.
no more distraction.
All
Go.
right, I'm going to do this, and then Martin. All right, I need the praise from Canada's Prince of Piano. Like, if I play this and then you come back and say that like Lauren's was your favorite, I'm gonna be very upset.
Ryan, if you keep extending this, I'm going to tell you to sing it without reverb. Let's go. Come on.
He says as I have the finger on the reverb
He knew.
button.
He knew what you were
Damn
doing.
it! Well, here we go. Oh God, that's too loud. Fine, without reverb. Damn it. We hug and yes, we make love and we always just say goodnight. And we cuddle, sure, I do love it, but I need your lips on mine. Can you kiss me more? We're so young and we ain't got nothing to lose. Oh, oh, it's just principle. Baby, hold me, 'cause I like the way you groove. Oh, oh. Boy, I write your name, I can do the same. Ooh, I love the taste. Oh, na, na, na. All of my tongue upon it. Boy, you write your name, I can do the same. Boy, I love the taste. Oh, na, na, na. I'll love my tongue upon it.
Yeah.
I only did that because you're royalty.
Oh, stop.
That was wonderful, Ryan. See, and even without reverb. Well
Ryan,
done,
listen.
sir.
Martin.
That was absolutely amazing. And I'm not kidding you. And
Stop.
and here's the listen, here's the reason that I wanted you to do this to camera. Because when you look at the audience and when you have that thing where you're not looking at whatever the gear is, this is the thing that, like when I've done live streaming concerts, and the biggest thing that always gets me is you look at all the tech that's in front of you, you look at the microphones, you look at all the lights and all the stuff, the scrolly little thing. It gets in the way. When you're looking at the camera, you're not looking at anything else that is distracting you. The difference between your performance when you first did it, you could feel some of the nerves coming out, but this time, that wasn't there. You know why? Because you weren't paying attention to any of the other stuff.
Martin? Buddy?
Lessons. I love it.
We're getting a master class, and I
I'm
kind of
telling
love it
you.
right now. I'm loving it.
Goosebumps,
And he's right.
Martin.
He's not wrong. When I looked up and you were making eye contact, I was like, well done, Ryan. Your whole face opens up. The show opens up. Indie creators learn this.
I feel so exposed right now. I want to ask Martin questions about his career.
Dude, Martin,
Just
that was
so you
a,
know, this is what the artists feel like all the time.
I
Right?
know. This is why
that was
I
a
got on the
master
legal side.
stroke.
Martin, this is easy for me.
Impressive.
I'm just having a conversation with a guy that says, "Look, we're gonna do the song. This is how we're gonna do it." And I'm just going, "Hey, listen, you want the feedback? I'll give you the feedback, but I want to watch you sing it to me.
Jeez.
I don't think
Okay.
I'm asking for much.
No, but I want to run a next generation musician workshop with you. Like, I just want to stand there.
Absolutely.
Right?
So my representative is Ryan Kairalla in the U.S. I believe you know how to find him.
Where in Canada are you based?
I'm in Vancouver. Beautiful, sunny,
Oh.
steaming hot Vancouver. We are
Yeah.
33 today, and it feels like 37 with the humidity. And I'm sitting here with no air conditioning on the last hour, hot lights, and so I'm just kind of like, yep, it's Canada. It does get warm, despite what people might think. We do have freezing cold winters, not in Vancouver as much, but it's definitely balmy here today.
Well, as I said before, it's super hot here in the studio, like the lights, and it's like hot in Miami. So you're not getting much sympathy from me. I'm like dying and sweltering under the sweater. I might actually take this stupid sweater off by the end of the segment. But let me ask you about Spotify, because
Yes, sir.
boy, would be willing to do anything right now to take this conversation 1,000 miles away from my singing. I want to talk to you about Spotify. We don't get a lot of musicians here who have as strong of an anti-Spotify position as you do. Like, certainly there aren't a lot of musicians that are like, Spotify, love it, can't get enough. But very few of them are so much like in that anti-Spotify camp that they just don't even put their music on there. And that's where you fit in. Tell us a little bit about that. Why is that your position on that streaming service? Is that like taking money out of your pocket?
Well, it's not just so much about taking money out of my pocket. I mean, look, Spotify has been valued as a $5 billion company, billion with a B, right? The amount of peanuts that they send back to artists in terms of when you think about we're paying money to TuneCore or to any of the other third-party vendors that are getting our music into these places. We're paying for that. And then we're getting it out into these places, and we're creating this craft that, takes us years to learn. It takes hours and hours of mastery, not just from myself, but the musicians that I work with, the producers, the engineers, the mastering people who do the graphics and all this sort of stuff. You create all of this work and you put it somewhere. The least that I would expect is for any of these platforms to work on the same royalty calculations like Sirius XM, satellite radio, traditional radio, anything like that. But yet we're talking about literally, pennies on the penny. 0.0037 is what it pays out per stream. Now, it's different for the big guys, right? Now, somebody like Shawn Mendes gets 4 billion streams. Obviously, they're going to pay him differently because he brings in a larger audience. But for me, the biggest thing that when I've looked at Spotify from the beginning, they're the ones that said, we're setting up this streaming payout. This is what we believe that the artists are worth, and this is what we believe that their craft is worth. And I look at that and go, yeah, I don't agree. You have people that are listening for free. Now all of a sudden you're trying to change the whole thing of the genie being out of the bottle and saying, well, you can get $9.99 a month and you don't have advertising, anything like that. How is that different from the New York Times or Washington Post or any of these newspapers that are saying, oh, you've reached your 3 articles a month limit because that's enough to absorb the news. And they're saying, it's $9.99 for reading this stuff. But the journalists are paid, right? The editors are paid. One of the questions that has come up from people from time to time is like, so if I go and pay $9.99 to Spotify for anything and everything that I want to listen to, how is that different from you paying $14.99 to Netflix every month for what you want to pay or what you want to watch?
Yeah.
And the big thing with that is that it's a completely different model. Netflix does one of two things. They will either get the project, and somebody will bring it in, they'll say, this is our idea for Bridgerton. They'll go, great, we love it, we'll buy it. This is how much we're going to pay you. This is what it is. Or they'll go to NBC, they'll license The Office for, 5 or 6 years or whatever, and then take it off. In both those cases, those productions are making money. Those productions are being paid money from Netflix, by Netflix, Apple TV, Disney Plus, whatever you want to call it, there's money being paid for that content to be created. That's not happening in the streaming services. And as somebody who started, and I'm completely dating myself now, but anybody who would take a look at me in this live stream would go, yeah, Ryan and Zach's babies probably have more hair combined than you do. But when I started in the industry, it was all CD, right? So I started in 97, 98. Back then it was, if you wanted your music in HMV Canada, or when it was taken over by Virgin Records, you had to go through a company called Indiepool Canada that would sell it to HMV Virgin Records to have in their store. CDs back in those days would sell for $24. HMV would give Indiepool of that 12, and Indiepool would give me 6. So $6 off of a $24 album as an independent artist. Far less, for the folks, Jan Arden, Diana Krall, it's far less than that, but they're also moving a lot more units, right? When Apple said, hey, this whole thing with Napster, we don't like it. The record companies went, we don't like it. People are going to buy records. They're going to buy CDs. They're going to buy tapes. Laserdisc is going to take off, right? And it never did. And the Napster guys got laughed out of the room. And then Steve Jobs and some of his people went, hey, wait a minute. We can do this. We can create an online record store where people can go and buy anything and everything that they want. $9.99, it's yours, and you buy it and you have it. In that model, it was $9.99 for, if you went and bought my album, I would get $8.99 out of that. And then it went to $7.99. And then eventually it changed to, well, we're going to change it to, it's $9.99 now per month for whatever you want to listen to. And so everything got hugely diluted. And the biggest player that has, held that since the beginning has been Spotify. They said, we're just not going to pay, people more in order to do that. And so for me, it's, my platform is martinmayermusic.com. If you want to buy my music, shameless plug here. If you want to buy my music, buy it on my website. It's directly from me. It's directly to me. If there are people that want to get a signed CD, they can get a signed CD. But so for me, Spotify is the one that I go, you're a $5 billion company. Explain to me your business model where you think that paying artists pennies on the dollar, the ones that are responsible for you being valued that much.
Now, with respect to the streaming services, Spotify is sort of notorious for having the lowest payouts of the major streaming services. Not that any of them are particularly lucrative, but Spotify's, close to the bottom, mainly because, as you mentioned, they still have a very large free tier, an ad-supported tier. So there's just not as much money coming in per customer as there is with Apple Music, for example, which does not have a free tier. So there's less money coming in per listener, which means less getting paid out per stream. So does your stance against Spotify, is that just Spotify, or are you not on any of the streaming services?
I'm not on Spotify specifically. I am on Apple Music. I am on some of the other ones, Amazon. The ones that pay really well are the ones that, no surprise, are in the Asian hemisphere. The QQ and the Kuwo Music, they pay a lot more. What's interesting now is that some of these conversations around Spotify and how much of leverage it has with musicians has really changed the conversation. So Alison M., who I was on her podcast, who introduced us, she was saying that for some of the places that she books into, promoters won't look at your website. They won't look at anything that you're doing. They'll take a calculation of how many streams you're getting times how many followers you have on Instagram and Facebook. And based on whatever that number is, if it meets whatever their threshold is, that's the equivalent of whether you get to play or not. And the other side of that was, I've always been very keen in expanding into overseas in different markets. So I had a conversation with a new label in Germany that was moving into this classical crossover style of music that I work in. And I said, I've got a new album coming out. It's solo piano. I'd love for you to take a listen to it. And the first email that I get back, and in that email, I specifically said, I'd send you a secure link to my website for you to listen to it because it's not available anywhere else. This is an album that I'm making available as an exclusive to your company. And the email came back and said, well, we can't find your music on Spotify, so we don't want to have a conversation.
Oh.
And I thought that was really interesting from somebody that had moved from a major label to start a new label with this type of music. And I countered with that and I said, well, my music not being available on Spotify doesn't have anything to do with the conversation that we're having here, because this music wouldn't be on there anyways. And the answer came back was very simple. If you don't have your music on Spotify, we're not interested in having a conversation.
So the industry, from what you're describing, is kind of implicitly forcing artists into this Spotify system, which pays out poorly because Spotify has sort of become the metric by which we are measuring artists for things like, am I going to sign this artist to a label? Is this artist going to get that gig? And that's particularly problematic because, as we noted, they are towards the bottom in terms of payouts to artists.
You find the same with touring, like that they won't book you into venues unless they think they're going to sell things based on those numbers, or they haven't gotten that yet?
Not in the places that I've been playing. I mean, I've been playing with in China, in their top theaters. We're talking about, Carnegie Hall style of places, the modern lighting. I mean, there's places where they have LED screens that are basically the whole background. So, I come on with my 9-foot grand piano and the graphics and the visuals and the lighting that comes on with that. And you turn it on during sound check and it's just like, it's an entire wall that is basically like, an LED screen that is just creates this amazing experience. I've never had a conversation with anybody there or here in Canada where they say, hey, we'd love to book you, but what do you do in terms of followers on Spotify? Mm-hmm. And every market is different. There's people who will book you on it based on whether you do or you don't. For me, I just choose not to subscribe to that. Mm-hmm. I'm an artist that has been self-managed. I've done a lot of my own legal. I was very smart at one point to meet the right legal people and the right publicist people, and those are now my people. And so it's having that conversation where I can say, this doesn't interest me, this is my catalog, this is my creation, this is my intellectual creation. I'm not interested in supporting a $5 billion company that at no point has said to me, our business decision for this is based on anything beyond us not wanting to pay artists what they're worth. And then I think about Taylor Swift, Neil Young. There was another high-profile person that says, yeah, I'm pulling my catalog from there. But they're not doing that with Apple Music. They're not doing that with, Amazon. They're not doing that with Deezer or Tidal or any of these types of places. But I mean, I could talk to, about Spotify until it was bedtime for your kids. So,
well, I appreciate your perspective there. Yeah, sorry, Alex, go ahead, or Zach, go ahead.
Well, I just think one thing that's interesting to me is we're talking about this, is that we're talking to an artist who is in control of his own destiny, right?
Yeah.
Somebody says, oh, I'm not interested in this because you're not on Spotify. It's like, whatever, I'm gonna go play theaters in China. Like, I just that just makes me happy in my heart. And by the way, if you haven't listened to his Unbreakable record, it's ridiculous. You need to listen to that. It's so cool. But at any rate, it just underscores to me, like, when you start talking about labels having an issue, it's like, do you feel like you need a label? I mean, it seems like you're doing pretty well running this ship yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I were to work with a label now, it would be strictly from the perspective of, look, I'm interested in your distribution and your marketing platform. That's what I'm interested in. Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in you paying for the record, the creation of it, or the studio or anything like that. I have a finished product. This is what it is. This is how it works. This is, the audience that I have, that I carry internationally. And for me, my type of music, classical crossover, it used to be called New Age in the 90s when guys like John Tesh, David Foster, and Yanni did their thing. Europe and Asia are the two most popular markets that listen to this type of music. and it's just not here. Tesh, Yanni, Frank Mills, David Foster, those were all guys that were huge in the 80s and 90s and going into the early 2000s. But then everything changed, like the sound changed, then it became contemporary instrumental, then it became instrumental fusion, and then it crossed over into smooth jazz. And I would say the only record company that I can think of in recent memory, and they're not around anymore, would be Windham Hill. Will Ackerman and Windham Hill, that place, if they said, hey, we want to take you on, but put your music on Spotify, okay, fine.
You got me.
But at the end of the day, I mean, listen, if my whole thing with them is it's the marketing, the distribution, if at the end of the day say we can get you listeners that are actually going to go and see your concerts and that are going to buy your albums and all of this sort of stuff,
Right.
if you guys can attract that and show me that it is a viable reason for it to be there, then you as the label take that on.
I love Martin's perspective on labels, Zach and
Yeah.
Lauren, which is, I don't need, if I'm going to work with a label, it's not to give me what I need. I already have what I need. I already got a thing going. If this label can be an instrument to help me get my thing going, but I'm still owning my stuff, I'm still, in control of my career, then fine. But I love that perspective. I love what you've been able to accomplish over in China, and I particularly enjoy hearing about your how knowledgeable you are about the industry. I want to talk a little bit with the time we have left about something that I know you're very passionate about, Martin. This is very different from the music industry, but I know it's something you care very deeply about, and that is Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, word?
Now, you should know, Martin, I am what you'd call a casual Star Trek fan. Star Trek Next Generation. I'm a passing...
No.
I'm sorry. I know I've been talking about this over and over. It's so damn hot in here. Let me just...
You have
let me
no
just,
idea.
I was like, you want to teach an ethics class based around
let
Star
me
Trek.
just kind of...
Yeah, he
God,
wrote a
that's-
full curriculum
that's
based
so-
around Star Trek.
Wow.
That's so much better. And hang on, let me just see if we can just change the decoration. There we go. Okay. So yeah, you're after my own. So for the folks who are just listening to this, I have just changed into my Jean-Luc Picard Star Trek: The Next Generation uniform to make our friend Martin Mayer more comfortable. I'm a huge Star Trek: The Next Generation fan. In fact, I'm currently in the middle of a Star Trek: The Next Generation rewatch, episode by episode. It's what I have like playing in the background while I'm feeding my kid. And I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't like periodically turning my kid like towards the screen, even though like my wife says no screen time. I'm like, look, you got to look at Patrick Stewart and look how great he is here, because I need you to get into this show too, so that we can enjoy it together when you're older. So you're talking to a fellow TNG fan here. So I want to ask, like, what got you into the show? Like, what's your favorite thing about it?
I think perhaps your son should go into Starfleet, number one.
Sorry, I was going to have that playing in the background while you were just giving
like
your
this
answer
guy.
there.
Geeking out.
So, okay, I'm gonna geek you out on this. Do you know what this is?
I'm trying to look and see what that is on the camera.
It's a crystally thing.
So
Yeah.
this is what Jean-Luc Picard had in his ready room on the Enterprise. Anytime that he was sitting and thinking and talking to somebody, he'd be holding this crystal. So this
He
is
has
a
a
limited
thinking
edition.
stone.
I don't know if it's a thinking stone, but this is
want
a
a
limited
thinking
edition Roddenberry Entertainment actual, like replica in terms of what they had, and it's really cool. It's heavy too, so.
Wow.
But I still say your
like
son
real
should go into
crystal there.
Starfleet.
Yeah. We'll definitely get him into the academy for sure.
We have not gotten him a baby uniform yet. Can we do that for Halloween? It's coming up. I
Of
don't know. Okay,
course.
sorry.
I've already told my wife, like, who doesn't even know what Star Trek Next Generation is, like, that's gonna be like our family costume this October.
Yeah.
Is like we'll all be on crew of the Enterprise, and I'll owe her like 1,000 favors for that, but that's fine. How excited are you, Martin, for the upcoming season of Star Trek Picard, which we have been told will have all of the cast members from Star Trek The Next Generation? And I saw on Twitter that one of the producers said that this is basically going to be like season 8 of The Next Generation. Like they're gonna be all together going on one last space adventure. I know you got to be thrilled for this, Martin.
It's really cool. I mean, for me, the way that I got into Next Generation was it's a little bit of a, I mean, you guys played the sad music, so it's a little bit of a sad story. I was born in the Czech Republic and immigrated to Canada in '89, and so as an immigrant kid in Edmonton, learning to play piano in a hockey town wasn't exactly the most popular thing. It's like, oh yeah, there goes Martin, he's going to play piano again. It's like, yeah, so you're so cool. There was something about the whole idea of Star Trek, and I could never get into the original one. I don't know why. I don't have anything against it. William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and all of those people did a fantastic job. It just wasn't for me. I couldn't sink into it. But when I started watching it, I think it was in season 3 that I first discovered it, and I went, hey, this is really cool. This is like me. It's geeky, it's nerdy, it has cool stuff. And all of a sudden, watching this stuff, I could connect with people at school that were into it the same way that I was. And I wasn't able to have that connection as, the immigrant kid, the one that is playing piano and all this sort of stuff. So for me, Next Generation was sort of an escape from that pre-teenager loneliness of, trying to become an artist, trying to be a new person in a new country without really an understanding of a lot of things of like, well, why do I have to play hockey, and why do I have to wear, Levi's? I don't know what, this Wrangler stuff is. I don't care. I'm just trying to make do in a country that is very foreign to me. The whole thing with Picard was just, when it happened, I was like, this is incredible. And the thing that I'm sure that you can appreciate too is the fact that between Next Generation and the movies, it went from here to here, right? And then with Discovery and, but first there were the J.J. Abrams movies that then you watch those and you go like, okay, so now the Next Generation movies look like what the original movies look like. Then we get into Discovery, and all of a sudden you see Discovery and it's like, okay, so now Next Generation looks as tacky as the original one did in the 60s, right? So it just progressively gets older. And I will 100% admit this anytime that somebody asks me. At some point, I realized with family genealogy that I was going to lose my hair. And in 2009, I was just like, went to the salon. They said, what do you want? I'm like, it's summer. Just take it all off. And she said, what do you mean? I said, just take it all the way down to the skin. She's like, well, I don't have a chick razor. I'm like, fine, just go to number 1 or whatever the thing is. Yeah. All of it off. And that was in summer of 2009, and I've never looked back since, because I figured that if somebody as amazingly talented as Patrick Stewart could go and be successful in the world as somebody who went bald at 18, it's
who looks amazing bald, by the way.
Now it's a trending thing. I've had weird experiences with people randomly stopping me in Vancouver going like, oh my God, are you Moby? I want to get an autograph. And I'm like,
Moby.
Not quite, but thank you.
Thanks, yeah.
So Star Trek Picard, absolutely brilliant. Is it, is it something that really takes me back to my childhood and tears pulls at those strings of, what I was feeling? Absolutely. I think it's going to be, season 3 is going to be really difficult to sort of get through, because it's going to be the last thing. But here's a bit of trivia. Behind me there, by the black keyboard, is a photo of me and a really tall guy, 6'7", blonde guy, and used to host Entertainment Tonight in the 90s. What's his name?
John Tesh.
Yes, it is. So John and I met in 2019 at a show in Seattle. He was playing there, and I went to go see him for the first time ever because he's basically responsible for my career. And there's 2 reasons that I'm telling the story. One is that for as long as I followed John, he always had his piano on the right-hand side of the stage, just like Billy Joel does, just like Yanni does, and all of these sort of things, right? So I was on tour in China. I saw that John was playing in Seattle. I went, I'm going to go buy these tickets, front row right there. I get there into this jazz club, and John had his piano on the other side of the stage, just like jazz players do. And so this is the guy that basically inspired me to go and say, hey, I don't need a record label in order to do this. My type of music isn't going to be popular with the A&R at Mercury Records or whatever. I'm gonna go and bankroll my first CD to the tune of $35,000, do a live concert. That's going to be the thing that I'm going to use as the stone that's going to be thrown into the pond, and it's going to make that ripple in Canada and the US to get me known. That didn't happen. What happened was I got an email through my website that said, we're a performing arts agency in China. We've listened to your music. We love it. We want to invite you on a 16-city concert tour this coming fall.
Wow.
And I still have it in my studio. It's framed because it's literally the email that changed my life. And it was one of those that at the time I said to my manager, I said, well, what do we do with this? Like, I don't know. It's like one of those dear beneficiary emails, please send us an account. We will send you your peanuts of Spotify money. Oh, wait, that was before the time. Not that I'm on a tangent. So what really happened was that, we went back and forth and we did the negotiation, and they said, we want to come to Canada and see Martin perform before we actually bring him over. And they did. We signed the paperwork. And 8 weeks later, I was on this massive tour. And, what you and Zach were saying before in jest is true. There are places that I can't go without the ball cap and the sunglasses. And even then, people will, they'll wait in line for 2.5 hours after concert for me to meet them, to say hello, to get an autograph. On that first tour, I was mobbed for autographs. I had a police escort. I had people showing up at my hotel room at 3:00 in the morning because the people at the front desk, had sold my information in terms of where I was staying. It's been absolutely crazy to go from that whirlwind and still be doing it almost 20 years later. But the story with why I wanted to mention John is that when he and I met, I said, you're responsible for my career. I just got back from a massive 20-city concert tour. It is so great to meet you. And then I remembered Tesh was on Star Trek Next Generation.
That's right.
He played in that episode where Worf, oh my God, I'm so dorking out here, where Worf has the, what's the...
he says to the guy wearing a Star Trek uniform.
Yeah, I know, right?
What am I going nerd?
Nerd! Yeah, it was the episode where Worf goes through that rite of passage where he's on the holodeck and he's basically getting stabbed by these
the pain
guys.
sticks, yeah.
And so John was at ET and said to one of the Paramount people, hey, I'd love to be on the show. Have me anytime. And that's sort of an interesting connection between me and Star Trek, me and piano, me and Tesh, and that type of thing. And let me just say, in terms of people that I have met in my life, and I've met a lot of people that have been mentors and people that have been inspirational and that have been very kind in terms of their time. I have never met someone as generous and as compassionate and so willing to share his time, his knowledge, but most importantly, his friendship as one human being to another, as one artist to another. And I want to put something out to your listening audience. I know that there's a lot of people out here that are listening that are indie artists. Like Zach said, I'm an indie artist. You can't hurt me. We'll see about that t-shirt. But what I want to say is that I know that there's independent artists that are listening that are going, I don't know how to do this. I'm not sure if my music is good enough. I'd love to have somebody in my corner that can just say to me, just change this a little bit. Don't focus so much on that. Focus on this. Look into the camera when you sing. It makes a difference in terms of your performance. So if there's anybody out there that wants to have a mentor or wants to have a conversation with a fellow artist, martinmayermusic.com is the way to find me. Facebook, Instagram, I'm very easily reachable. I'm very approachable. I'm happy to return a lot of the information and knowledge that I've shared. Plus just compassion within an industry where we really feel like, the last 2 years have just completely decimated us in terms of what we've been able to do. So if there's people that have helped me up along the way, I'd be more than happy to do the same.
What a kindness, Martin. That is fantastic. And I hope we don't get your inbox mobbed for that act of kindness. Martin, this has been such a treat. I've enjoyed this whole episode top to bottom. I can't remember the last time I've had this much fun doing this show, just between everything we've done and how great of a sport you've been. It's been a real blast. Anytime you ever want to come back on the program, we'd be happy to have you. Please don't be a stranger.
Well, can we just go another 17 minutes? Is that okay?
The Sirius XM 145 will like if I go one more minute, they're going to like send a van in front of my house and just start throwing bricks through my window.
Oh, well, we don't want that.
We don't.
We're just going to take out our first
despite the
segment so they
uniform.
don't have to listen to our music.
That's right. They'll be like, how about we cut out all the singing
We'll
and
just
just
start
leave the
at the
Martin Mayer
commercial
interview
break.
and
It'll be
we'll get our
great.
60-minute show that they want so badly. Martin, thank you so much for being on the show this week. This
Thank
has
you
been a
guys for having
pleasure.
me.
Thank you all for checking out Break the Business. We'll see you next week.